Welcome to Ish I Saw on TikTok. In this series, we look at TikToks and some stitched responses where something very prevalent in dating today is discussed. Then finally, I'll provide my commentary at the end of just me being myself, unfiltered and unadulterated. Hi, I'm Janelle, the relationship coach behind The Successful Invisible. I work with successful, savvy, wonderful, professional Black women, single professional Black women who are 35 plus and are seeking just better dating options and have no clue where to start. Check out my links below if you're interested in working with me one-on-one or in a group coach setting. The goal of exploring some of these TikToks is to spark discussion and help you to develop more awareness, including self-awareness, in some of the patterns you've either engaged in or allow in your own dating life. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Black women do not have a problem with the passport bros. What we have a problem with is on Black women as a reason to go over to take advantage of women who are not financially stable. You're going over there to find somebody who's going to treat you like a king in all your mediocrity. Don't blame us for that.
I gotta go off of what I've seen. They cater to you to a T. I know someone that has married someone and brought her over here. It looks like she's out of magazine.
She would be a model over here, right? Do you think if she was born in America, she would be with him?
No, she would not be with him.
Do you know why? Because they're poor. Y'all are taking advantage of these women, blaming us. Black women are this, Black women are that, as if we're causing you to take advantage of these women. Leave us the out of it.
This passport bros phenomenon, if you don't know, passport bro is a Black man who's decided that dating Black women in America is too hard for him, so he needs to go out of the country and take his business elsewhere because the women here are taking advantage of him and we ain't worth nothing no way. So he's got to go get it elsewhere. It has been absolutely hilarious. I wish I could find the video, but I'm sure y'all have seen it. Video of this dude, I think he was in the Dominican Republic, literally saying that back in the day, you could come down here and you would not have to spend a lot of money to get girls' attention. You wouldn't have to spend that much money to court her and whatnot. And now that there have been all of these, an influx of men coming to the Dominican Republic and spending money on them, now they're starting to cost more. He's literally complaining about inflation on women. It has now become too much money for you. Even in the Dominican Republic, you don't have enough money. Is that not hilarious? I also want to point out that so we were right all along. The problem is not that you don't want to spend money on women. It's that you don't have enough money, which is what we have been saying all along. A hit dog will holler. If I say that when I'm in a relationship, I want a man to spend money on me, I say it in a room full of men, whatever man raises his hand and says that he shouldn't have to do that or it doesn't make any sense or it's not fair, open his wallet up. Open it up and you will see nothing. You'll see nothing in there because the men who have the money don't have a problem spending the money. Because when a man likes you, I've been saying this for forever because it is true. When a man really likes you and he's serious about you, he's intentional with you, and he is dedicated to being with you, he wants to take care of you. He wants to spend money on you. He wants to provide for you. So again, the issue was not that we want men to provide for us. The issue was not that we want men to spend money on us. The issue was that you didn't have the money, which again, we all already knew. We already knew that. This is just a glorious, this is a glorious time to be alive. Honestly, it is. Getting to watch this in real time is one of my favorite things about my life currently. It is. I'm sorry.
Passport bros are looking for women who are economically disadvantaged so that they can't leave. They have realized that the systematic plan that they have used for centuries to keep women forced to do free labor, basically indentured servitude, is crumbling. And the crazy part is that same system is what's stressing them out, giving them cancer, causing them to die alone because they don't spend any time with their kids or with their families. It's bad all the way around. But because they perceive a benefit from you doing all the things, they would rather go out and go to another country and find a woman that they perceive to be submissive and willing to do all the things for little to nothing. They'd rather do that instead of dismantle the system that is oppressing us all, because they want their seat at the table, so to speak. Prices are rising. There's war all over the world. There are people being killed in the streets. There's little to no money left for our education and no funds left to do some of the things like, give us health care and fix our roads and those types of things. Yet and still, they'd rather travel on the other side of the globe to get a woman so they can bring her home and she can do all the things at the house so he can go out here and he can struggle to make a way, struggle to make a living, to play this game that has been set up that causes us all to lose. Peak insecurity, if you ask me.
Normally and typically in an Arab household, the man usually is the provider financially, and that's just how it is.
That is just something I wasn't prepared for.
Most Arab women expect that.
Just like most American people expect the woman to contribute half, or not half, just contribute.
But you're not dealing with an American woman.
No, but she'd have to deal with some of my things though too. This was definitely not what I wanted to hear. I thought Moroccan women prioritize family over material things, and I was not anticipating that it would mean I have to be the sole provider for a household. I didn't sign up for this.
If you want to date outside of your race, fine. If you want to go overseas to find your soulmate, that's cool. Just like Dr. Umar Johnson said, and yes, he may have certain antics that I might not agree with, but he kind of is right. A lot of men who go for non-black women are getting the bottom of the barrel. So when I see a whole bunch of manosphere, red pill content from the black community, I don't care about what you do, but to sit here and put down people that look like you, that's pretty much cooning. If you notice, only a certain type of man will sit here and say, well, these black women only like thugs and this and that and the third. Look at who they are and how they carry themselves. 9 times out of 10, they're typically incels or men who have a disdain for black women. And it goes beyond, oh, we want better. It's more like, let's make content to bash a group of women that look like me because I hate myself internally. And how can you call yourself a man and you follow that ideology and you have a daughter, a niece, a mother that is black and look at all black women as a disdain? Check yourself before you try to check other women. If it doesn't resonate with you, move on. Worry about what works for you.
This video is hard to watch because she is so emotional because of what it is that she's going through. So they're in an argument because she wants to work and he won't let her work. She's a stay-at-home mom and he's arguing with her that all she does is play on her phone all day. He doesn't think that she's really doing anything. And then we're going to show you what it is that she does in a day. So he doesn't want her to work. He won't give her money for what it is that she wants. This is the life that they have in mind for you.
Where did the money come from?
Well, you won't now. You won't now. And now you know why. Because you.
No, because you won't let me work. So I spend your money and that's your problem. Ask to put Aliyah's in full-time preschool. You refuse to do that.
Full-time preschool.
Yes. So I can work, cook and clean, and I get no salary. I get nothing.
Cooking and clean. You copy.
What did I do?
You don't do anything. That's no problem.
Really?
Sit around and play with your phone.
Thank you. I appreciate that when you
It's
say.
not true?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
About since married for almost 8 years. I have been cook see this? It's the oil when splashing on your hands. You know, when you cook a lot and I get oil that's splashing on my chest. I remember this one is like I fry something and it's pop and the oil just like.
So he got her in there frying all this damn chicken and stuff. The oil is popping on her. She in a hot ass damn kitchen. This is too much.
Part of cooking. So since then I start to wear the aprons or wear long sleeve to cook. Like get burned, some cut, you know, on your little finger and things like that. It's a little thing that someone might never see because they got home, food is ready, the house is clean, the laundry is got put away. I don't know why I doing this, but I keep home. My son just woke up.
She said my son just woke up, and so she jumped off, right? So she has a video where she's showing what it is that she's doing in a day. And you see she has some little biracial babies in the house with her. So this is what she's doing in a day.
All day. What you know about...
All right. So she, I mean, you look, I want you to see from top to bottom. So you see she's doing the dish, taking all the stuff out the racks and wiping all the everything sweep up off the floor and putting all the toilet away in the cribs and taking all the sheets and all this stuff. Like in a hotel. This looked like a hotel. Like she's taking the rug and scrubbing down the rug and having to shampoo it out and let it dry outside and come back in. And then look, she's making him gourmet sushi meals and stuff that look like he at a restaurant. And he went to another country, found himself a marry maid. Now he got this woman trapped up inside the house with two fluffy-headed little brown-skinned kids, and she can't go nowhere. Where's she gonna go now? He's entrapped, saddled her with babies. She was his surrogate. Remember when we did that video about how marriage is slavery for women?
They want you to do the job of 1 million people, and then they don't want to pay you for it. Look, you're supposed to be getting $12.15 an hour on average to be their maid. You know, that's a 24/7 job, so you're supposed to be getting paper. Lord have mercy. They want you to be their personal chef, too. You're supposed to be getting $97,000 a year. You know, they say they want to marry so they can create a family. So basically, they want you to have their kids. As a surrogate, you're supposed to be getting anywhere between $30,000 and $46,000 to have one kid. Then they want you to be their mental health.
She was a surrogate for his children, a maid in the house, sex slave, a personal chef. Look at, this is exactly what Princella was talking about. Princella, the queen maker, this is what she was talking about. Look at the meals that she's rolling it up with the sushi wrapper and everything. Look, she's laying it out for him on the plates and oh my gosh, there's 3 kids there. 1, 2, 3. Oh my Lord. 3 kids in 8 years, or is that her in the middle? I can't even tell. Maybe that's her in the middle and there's 2 kids. It's just, so she can't, he won't give her money to spend unless he approves it. She has to get money from him whenever she needs it. He's arguing with her about not wanting to give her money. She ain't going outside and she's trapped in there. And this is the glamorous life they're talking about. She doesn't have equal power. She doesn't have equal say. She's a marry maid. She's a marry maid. it just is laid out on restaurant. And so, yeah, so the house is nice, right? You know, she had some other videos, right? So you can see, like, she gets a chance to go out, but it's like everything with his approval and permission. They think that they're going to come over to this country and be living the high life and all this other stuff. But once you get those little fluffy headed kids, where you going to go? With your kafaya lot kids, you can't go back home. The Asian men, what are they going to do with you and two brown skinned babies? Well, where are you going to go? Where is she going to go?
Please remember this video when you hear the passport bros talking about going overseas to find wives, etc. Is it ever to find a wife so that they can adore her and uplift her and empower her? Or is it so that she could be a marrier maid or someone whom they have full and total control over because he has more power economically and citizenship-wise? You tell me in the comments below.
Be a part of the live show with thousands of other viewers. Go to TanyaTKO.com/text and join the text notification squad and get a text whenever I go live. Support the show and yourself, and I'll see you on the next live broadcast.
How you doing? You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Turn around. Let me see. Turn around. Oh, she is beautiful. Oh, yeah. She is beautiful. Can I film you for my friend? Ah, she looking good, fellas. Oh, no, I wasn't trying to give you none of the money. I was just counting my money. But you look real pretty, though. You look... Maybe I'll take you somewhere later. You gonna be around later? I'm making a video right now. Yeah. So...
My question to you is, when are you going to learn about my culture? I'll give you an example. You call me fat and ugly in front of people.
We've already talked about passport bros. Their often predatory nature, their blatant incompetence that prevents them from understanding how dating in the rest of the world actually works, which makes them believe they can bring crumbs to foreign women and they'll settle for it. Not to mention the way racial dynamics work in other countries, etc. Trying to lecture this woman about the harm of stereotypes when he himself is only in her country because he believes stereotypes about soft and submissive Asian women. Digressing. Putting all that aside, passport bros are also a great demonstration of what it looks like when you blame everyone else for your problems whilst refusing to look in the mirror. Listen, I'll be the first to agree that dating is difficult, and honestly, in terms of finding someone you truly mesh with and complement versus trading a person for property, royalty, or goats, I think it always has been. But if you are finding dating so difficult that you have to flee to another country in a way that is so unnatural and intentional that you are part of a named collective group, meaning you're specifically moving for said reason, not because you've fallen in love with another culture, the problem was, is, and always will be you. Because let me tell you something. If we were to go along with the idea that all passport bros want is a traditional relationship, and again, we know the real reason why they're going abroad, and we've seen how they actually cannot handle the male role in a traditional relationship, but just entertain it for a moment. They exist here. There are plenty of men in relationships with traditional women right now who cook for them, who clean for them, who make their house a home, will carry their children, and in their own words, submit to them. There are plenty of women here in America who would jump at the chance to have a man of integrity, intellect, success, loyalty, and principle to be the leader of their home. So if they're not jumping at that chance with you, chances are the problem is you. Chances are you're not creating the necessary dynamic for that to occur. Chances are you're not as great of a traditional man as you think, and you can't run from that. Whatever the women here are seeing in you that makes them not trust you as the father of their children, the leader of their households, the leader of their relationship, the women over there will see. Whatever the women here are seeing in you that makes you, in their eyes, not worthy of submission, if you will, not worthy of coming home to a hot meal, not worthy of nurturing, women over there will see. In fact, they'll likely see it faster, as most of their cultures are actually traditional, not the bastardized woman serve man while man do nothing version men in America try to peddle. I reiterate from my previous passport bro videos, our sisters overseas aren't dumb. They don't want useless, unattractive, or unkempt men either. You don't go over there as you are here and suddenly become Prince Charming. So, a good reminder for everyone, using the people who need the reminder the most as the example, self-reflection Personal accountability, self-awareness, wanting to be your best self would help a lot of people's interpersonal relationships, because sometimes the problem isn't where you are. It isn't everybody else. It's you. You can only blame the audience without rewriting the act for so long.
Passport bros have been an epidemic all around the world, especially in Colombia.
An American tourist was found in Medellin, Colombia by the police in a hotel room with 2 kids.
After the civilians saw this man bringing 2 children to his hotel room, he automatically reported the incident to the police.
When the police got to the scene, they found the minors, who were 12 and 13 years old, literal children, with the American pedophile, Timothy Livingston.
Timothy Livingston was captured by the Colombian police, but he was quickly released because apparently when the police got there, they didn't find him having with the kids or touching them. So technically, they couldn't charge him with any crimes.
This allowed Timothy to run freely to the United States, Ohio to be more specific, the day after he was released from Colombian jail with no legal consequences at all.
After this disgusting event, the people of Medellin who have had enough of these passport bros spread this monster's information throughout social media in hopes the American public can find this and bring him to justice to pay for his crimes.
Please share, like, and comment on this video so more people know what's going on in Medellin and other parts of Latin America.
As far as traveling, man, some guys.
A lot of these passport bros run into the same issues as they are facing in the United States. When they go to these foreign countries, they lead with how much money they have. They lead with saying that they're successful businessmen in the States, yada, yada, yada. So they find women who only want them for their money. So going overseas is not going to absolve you from all of these issues, okay? You're going to find the exact same girl that you could have found in America in a foreign country, okay? Going to a foreign country doesn't mean that all of those women are going to be submissive, all of those women are going to do all these things. No. What happens is that you're going to date a girl who has all of the same issues as you're finding as the women in the States. And a lot of these men can't find women where they are. They are broke losers.
Shut up, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I love the way it feels to be a hater. Something so sweet about thinking that I'm better.
This one's for the men who just say they've given up on Western women and are gonna go abroad for a woman. I understand some of your frustrations, but if you're gonna be a passport bro, there are certain downsides. First of all, you have no idea if this woman is using you for a visa or your money. You're not going to be able to have fun banter with her. She might be more feminine, but she might not feel like your best friend. She might feel more like a maid service. Number 2, you're definitely going to run into some cultural differences. Is she going to be willing to give up her family, her friends, her career just to come to the States for you? You guys are also going to run into the issue of where to live. Or are you willing to move there? Passport broing is a cop-out for something that can be easily solved.
Yes, I have an accent because I ain't from here. I was born in Thailand, and I grew up in Georgia for a decade. And then I fucking moved to Nebraska. Ain't she over there, by the way? How the hell y'all gonna tell me how I'm supposed to sound like? You want me to speak in broken English, bitch? The fuck? Or would you like for me to speak formally to you, sir? Fuck out of here, man.
32 passport bros have been found dead in Colombia between January 2023 and October 2023. And that's just in the city of Medellin alone. The number of thefts committed against these foreigners has also increased 200% in the 3rd trimester of 2023. And you know, I don't have a problem with people trying to find love. I do, however, have a problem with men traveling to poorer countries to take advantage of their women. And it seems that the Colombian government and gangs have a problem with this as well. Quoting the mayor of Medellin, anyone who thinks they can come here for and tourism, we don't want any of that here. What's not bragged about as much in the passport bro community is that many times these gangs are actually forcing underage girls to sign up for dating profiles to lure these guys in. So these Colombian men are really just Chris Hansening these guys, except with much more serious consequences. So to the passport bros traveling to other countries to have sex with children, or the ones that are just traveling to take advantage of these women, know that those actions are now coming with consequences. And realize that these women are human beings who want to be loved and taken care of and not just treated as submissive slaves. And to the passport bros gonna come at me saying that's not the point of passport bros, how many of you have come home with wives? We all know it's just a cheeky name for tourism.
I have been saying this a lot recently, that when we go to cultures where the women don't even show their ankles, it's because the men in that culture won't have it. They won't have it. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that when we look at social differences, there's cultures out there where there's women who wouldn't even think to show their ankles. And there's this culture where a 12-year-old is twerking online. When we look at cultures where the women have changed so much in terms of their promiscuity, you have to look at what men are rewarding. What are the men going towards? Now, if I go to a culture where the women are well behaved, it's because the men they don't like promiscuity. They don't reward it. But if you go to a culture like America, the UK, Dubai, they reward promiscuity. Every girl that has her arse out is going to have a million offers, taking her hair, this, that, whereas they don't reward good women in these cultures. Whereas if you go to other cultures where the women are submissive and people are always saying, oh, I want to go to a submissive culture, find a girl from back home, it's because the men don't tolerate that nonsense. So if you want to look at why women are getting so bad, have a look at the men in that society, because they set the tone.
Lots of this passport bros video going around where American women are getting kind of upset that
when are we gonna escape this mentality? She said that these bros are not marrying foreign women because they speak little English or because they have a lack of education, but because they're more nourishing and more caring. You're describing a maid, a free lift and one for the rest of your life at that. And at the end of the video, she's like, oh, this is mutually beneficial, and if it doesn't work out for you, just leave. Leave where? With who? With what money? In a foreign country where you speak little English and have little education? Just do like a little more thinking, girl. Why do they want to marry a woman that can't speak the predominant language? Because they're easier to control. It's not as easy as you're saying. So stop misinforming people. Stop defending these lowlives who are preying on our sisters.
My take on passport bros as an American who's lived in the Philippines for 2 years is that most Filipino women who are dating foreigners, they know English very well. They're smart. They're not uneducated. They definitely know what's going to happen and what's going on, and they know the expectations of what a possible marriage might entail. The part where I get a little worried is I've seen a lot of passport bros be, first of all, predators as young as 13 years old. And second of all, they seem very, very hurt and just like really jaded towards American women and kind of controlling and just really aggressive. So that would be something to consider as well if you want that type of personality as a partner. And also, when people move to the US, they have a foreign spouse. Sometimes, not always, sometimes that foreign spouse is isolated, doesn't have very good connections. So if anything were to be bad or if they would need any help, I'm just worried that some people might not have the resources to get the appropriate help or support or community they need. But I don't care who you guys marry, if it's a foreigner or not. Obviously, I'm married to a foreigner myself. But I think there are just some parts to be cautious about. And then also just remember, a lot of American women have had really bad experiences with men. So when they see like that kind of rough personality go into another country and having women there, they might just be a little upset or triggered because they don't want women to experience things that they have also experienced. So that's my take.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube, and that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. All right, welcome to part 2 of this lovely, interesting discussion about passport bros. So we're going to revisit the definition again to make sure we're all on the same page. So passport bros, according to urbandictionary.com, are men who choose to seek out foreign women typically from other countries for relationships. They believe that Western women have been influenced by cultural and societal pressures to behave in a certain way, and that by seeking out foreign women, they can find a more authentic, fulfilling, and harmonious relationship. This is seen as a way to restore the balance between masculine and feminine energy, and to avoid the wickedness areas of Western women. So let's get into women's perspective on passport bros. I believe that it's very clear, it came through, that women see passport bros as a different breed, to put it nicely. Women, myself included, and many of my clients, we see men who are traveling to pay for and hire the services of sex workers as questionable at best. They are going there for financial exploitation, and they're definitely going to, and I said this in the other video, to where their dollar is stronger than the currency of the country. And they have this perceived submissionness of the women that they're going to interact with, not understanding that even though something may be very commonly, quote unquote, known, but more so bastardized by the Western media about women of certain cultures, these women know exactly what they're doing. I'm not giving the passport bros a pass at all, but I do give kudos to the women who are taking their money, because the reality is, if these men wanted to hire sex workers, they could do it right here in the US. They could find reputable services and engage with a consenting adult, but they're choosing to purposely go places, and they're not hiring high-end girls. They're hiring streetwalkers. And that's no shade to the women doing the work. The women who are engaged in the sex work are going purposely to probably very popular tourist destinations in terms of like accommodations to pick up passport bros. And the women are playing a long game, because these men say, they're looking for a traditional woman and they want to get married, which makes no sense, because you're hiring a sex worker and then you want to marry her and then bring her back to the States where your dollar is weak. Like, the logic isn't logicking. Like, the math is not mathing. It makes no sense. But I'd say a bigger question to me that comes up, and it wasn't really highlighted as much in here, but I'm very suspicious of any man who says they travel and pay for sex, because there are laws in other countries, or there are not laws in other countries that are laws here. So the first thing I immediately think of is a man traveling to a foreign country to go have sex with minors. I believe the age of consent in Thailand is something like 14, where we know in the US that is totally illegal. So it's not just a monetary thing and is very manipulative. I'm very wary of any man who's saying they are traveling to pay people for sex, because I am, the first thing my mind goes to is, you are doing illegal things over there that you would be prosecuted under the law here in the US for. And I really like that some of the things that were highlighted in the TikToks is like to raise more awareness. Women want to raise more awareness for other women to see, because guess what? People from all parts of the world, even if they're in third world countries, they're seeing the social media of people happening here in the States. Raise awareness about the exploitation and the power dynamics being so far off. When you have one person with, quote unquote, all the money and the other person who's at a disadvantage, that power dynamic is off. So these men who also say they're going to find a traditional relationship, you have to look at that with a closer eye, because what do you mean traditional? Do you mean where a woman could be abused, included financially, physically, sexually, etc., and she didn't have any options? Because that's really what they're saying without putting it so plainly, but that's what they're seeking. So another reason to kind of side-eye any men who engage in this. It's all of the other things outside of the sex that always have me questioning what they're doing. That's straightforward. You are paying somebody for sex. It's a service. It's very transactional. But it's all of the other facets of it that make me question, why is somebody flying overseas for this? This doesn't make any sense. And then men need to really self-reflect and hold themselves accountable and start working on themselves, because if you have to pay money, fly out and pay someone who does not even speak your language necessarily in order to have sex with them, why are you so unlikable by women? And it's not a matter of blame, it's a matter of self-reflection. As I said in the other video, there are 330 million people in the US, and I am hard-pressed to believe that a man can't find a consenting adult who wants to have sex with them, either with the same arrangement or they're just dating. But a lot of the gentlemen that I have seen who engage in this behavior, they're not very well developed in their character. They're maybe a step up almost from like incels. They are having sex with women, but they really only see women as objects. Caveat, I think most men perceive women that way. And it's just, it's questionable. And it's definitely not something that anyone has thought through, not from what I've observed on what they put on social media in any real way about the ramifications. Say, a passport bro does end up meeting a woman, quote unquote, falling in love and bringing her back to the States. What are the ramifications of how are you going to provide the resources available to a foreign spouse? All of the, visa challenges that may come with that. Are they going to be isolated? Are they going to have access to the things they need if they move back? So it's very questionable behavior. And I truly think any man who engages with it, in passport bro behavior needs to be looked at. Or if you decide to date a man who's done that or does that, you need to proceed with caution, and you need to really understand, and not just by what he tells you, by what you've also observed and experienced with him, why he's engaged with it. I would overall side against it, but there are exceptions to the rule. Just know, go into that eyes wide open. Like, you really need to understand who you're dealing with and his mentality. Thank you for joining me today for this episode of Ish I Saw on TikTok, Passport Bros, Part 2 of 2. Watch this video again and take some notes. Reflect on your current and former romantic situations with men, and see if you've ever dated a passport bro, or if a guy that you're interested in could be a passport bro. And take note of some questions you may need to ask. Watch this video again and take your time. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, check out the links below. Also, check out my podcast, The Successful Invisible, next season, publishing soon, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, this is your relationship coach, Janelle, signing off.